Balochistan has been the scene of a long-running insurgency in Pakistan with an array of separatist groups staging attacks, protests on security forces as well. These separatists have been demanding independence from the central government in Islamabad. Now, though Pakistani authorities say that they've quelled this insurgency, violence in Balochistan has persisted, and now there seems to be a renewed push against the Pakistani government and the army. Over 30 people have been killed in separate attacks over the weekend across the Balochistan province. Several buses and trucks were stopped overnight by armed men who checked IDs of passengers before they shot 23 people in cold blood. There is a black storm offensive that seems to be undergoing in Balochistan. This is a new leap as far as the Baloch struggle is concerned. The Baloch Liberation Army says that this is where they're now headed. The Baloch army has launched a Fidayeen operation against Pakistan's atrocity. This is under the elite Fidayeen brigade or the Majid brigade as far as the Baloch army is concerned. Baloch operation commemorates ex-Chief Minister Akbar Bukti, who was killed in General Musharraf's regime back in 2006. There's major Pakistan army camps in Bela region that were targeted and that this operation eyes to take control of. Now, Baloch Liberation Army has sought full support of the people of Balochistan. They say it's a fight against Pakistan military and they've even asked the police to not interfere. Top Baloch Liberation Army sources have also told us that Balochis have been exploited by Pakistan without getting their due, and enough is enough. They've now sought to draw international attention to what they claim is Pakistan's illegal occupation and exploitation of their resources. A new operation like this is a complete shift from what we've seen initially from the earlier guerrilla warfare tactic that the Baloch Liberation Army has been putting in place. Now, this is an unprecedented operation as far as Balochistan province in Pakistan is concerned. This is what we've gathered from our sources within the intelligences here in India. The Baloch missing persons movement is now at its peak. The energy and coordination that we've seen in this particular attack over this weekend is the first time that we've seen as far as the rebellion in Balochistan is concerned. Baloch control over roads and highways is also significant, which is why, like I said, it's going to be easier said than done for the Pakistani establishment to quell this round of rebellion, this round of protests. The CPEC project could also be impacted, and what's at risk, of course, is the ties between China and Pakistan. This operation will also add pressure on the Pakistani army. It could force Pakistan to come on the negotiating table with the Baloch, and that is something that the Pakistani establishment is worried of. So what does this mean as far as Pakistan is concerned, and of course in the Indian context? Senior fellow ORF Sushant Sareen now joins us on this broadcast, getting us more perspective. Sushant Sareen, like I was pointing out, this perhaps is the first time that we've seen such a scale of an attack as far as the Balochi rebellion or uprising is concerned?
No, there have been attacks and pretty ferocious ones in the past as well. But yes, I think the sheer scale at which this attack has been carried out, the kind of geography it has, simultaneously attacks carried out in various places, perhaps the first time. But I think, Poonam, over the years, what we have seen is that the Baloch freedom fighters have been gaining in capability. Their attacks are becoming more and more ferocious. And the kind of geographical expanse that they are now able to operate in. So it's not just the attacks which have taken place in various cantonments and against various military camps, but also the fact that, almost that entire coastal belt is now a sort of a no-go area, in the sense that they strike at will, they strike military targets. So I think in that sense, it certainly has gained a lot of pace. And then parallelly, what we are seeing is that there is a very robust political movement which doesn't really have a connection with the militant one, but which is actually agitating on issues of human rights abuses by Pakistani security forces, the enforced disappearances, as you were mentioning, the kind of kill and dump policies and the death squads that the Pakistan army and the Pakistani state has been running in Balochistan. And remember one thing, Poonam, this might be the fifth insurgency since 1947-48. But this is the longest insurgency in Balochistan. I can trace it back to around 2000-2001, around the time, even just before 9/11 attacks. We had started seeing attacks taking place inside Balochistan. It's ebbed and flowed, It's reached a crescendo, then come down, then again gone up, but it hasn't ended. And the kind of policies that the Pakistani state has followed has only fueled resentment and added to the recruits and the alienation of the Baloch people and recruits to the Baloch freedom movement. So yeah, I think this is gaining strength, and I think what is very critical is this particular attack which was carried out against civilians, or at least they claim that they were civilians in the north of Balochistan. That is a predominantly Pashtun area. Now, the Pashtun areas and the Baloch areas are more or less mutually exclusive. But if the BLA, as some reports claim that the BLA has claimed that attack, if the BLA has actually managed to strike in a district which is over 80% Pashtun, then it means that there could be some kind of alliance between the Pashtuns who are fighting more or less on the Taliban side, and the Baloch, which is a much more liberal, progressive, secular kind of a struggle for freedom. It's a national struggle. So I think there could be some kind of convergence between them against a common enemy, which is the Punjab-dominated Pakistan.
If this is to spill over in Pakistan, is that something that India should be concerned about?
If it comes to that, yes. But I think that probably still at some distance, that possibility. But I think for the moment, it gives us some breathing space in the sense that it gives us time to prepare our plan Bs and our action plans on what we will do if that unthinkable, eventuality arises, which you are mentioning, that, the whole damn country on our western side starts blowing up. Then, we will have a fallout coming into us. So we will have to prepare for that.
Shansureen, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your perspective.
This is